Hi, Mark. Hi, thank you very much for joining us from the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. structure, which is a bit of a mouthful, but from Barbados Tourism in the UK. We've been starting to celebrate since July, ANTOR's 70th anniversary, which makes us the second eldest association in the industry, ABTA being just 1 year older. And it's quite interesting when you reflect that that means that the organization was created in 1951, which was only 6 years after another major global and in particular European crisis in the Second World War. So there was obviously a lot of common denominators amongst those of us today and those of us then, trying to work out the new world and the new way forward. But before we go on to how you're getting on with everything, what do you consider the main benefits or benefit of ANTOR's membership?
Oh, well, thanks, Alison. Thanks for allowing me to be part and parcel of this. It's really quite an achievement. 70 years in anything is pretty impressive. For us, it's really just about the networking. It's about being able to get out there, not just networking with the other members of the organization, because, at the end of the day, it's always good to hear what other persons are doing, and, we can all learn from each other. There's nothing new under the sun. I always say that, it's just a matter of how you apply it. But also being able to engage with the travel trade, being able to engage with travel media, especially. That's always key for us. It's always, I don't want to say a challenge, but, getting out there on your own as a single entity, Barbados, or any other destination, it takes quite a bit, in terms of manpower, resources, and finances. But being part of a body like this, a global body and whatnot, it allows us to piggyback, for lack of a better term, on all the amazing work that you guys do and get that benefit. So I would say that's like the number one thing. I mean, you guys do such an amazing job in terms of how you interact with the trade and the travel media trade as well. So that's key for us because it allows us to speak to them directly, get our message across. So thumbs up for that.
Thank you very much, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that you'll be with us in September at ANTOR Meets the Media. Yeah. So we're actually, as you mentioned, infrastructure and resources, and of course ANTOR being a not-for-profit organisation and a small association, because it is uniquely open to destinations and official tourism entities. What's your structure like, Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.? It sounds very corporate, but how does it work?
Well, I mean, essentially, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., as the name, as it said there's marketing in there, and that's our role. Our role is to promote the destination in our various key source markets. So the UK is our number one source market. It brings in about maybe 33, well, under normal circumstances, between 33 and 36% of the business to Barbados. And then there's also the US, which is second, usually around 30%. And then you have Canada, Latin America, Caribbean, as well as, as well as Europe. We do get persons from across the world, but those are our main source markets there. So our role is to get out there and to promote Barbados and to engage persons in whichever way is possible to encourage them to come to the destination. I don't have, like BTMA, we don't have rooms to sell per se. We don't have cars to rent. I don't have restaurants. I don't own restaurants so you can eat at. But, we're here to tell you about these amazing things. And so that, and we put it all together, obviously through our website, or if we work with tour operators and packages, so that, we sell that dream. At the end of the day, that's what travel is about. It doesn't always come down to the actual flights, the accommodation. It's about what you're going to experience, how you're going to feel when you go to Barbados. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to, bring that passion of the island, so when you think Barbados, what do you think? Do you think of rum punch? Do you think of swaying palm trees? Do you even think of some soft adventure? I'm here to bring that dream to reality. That's what our role is.
Well, I have to say, I'm lucky enough to have been to Barbados more than several times in my life, and I can imagine it now. I know exactly what I'm thinking of, and it is a stunningly beautiful island, and I think you're very lucky to have this job to promote such a wonderful product. How long have you been working with Barbados for?
Well, I've been with the BTMI now 6.5 years. Started in the UK office actually. So I came up here the end of June 2015, and yeah, been here since. There are about six of us here in the office, and we cover the entire United Kingdom and Ireland. That's our responsibility. We do, as I said, we do have a team in Europe. They cover, well, Europe is a big place, as you can imagine, but they cover just a few key destinations, key markets there. So that would be France, Germany, Italy, and now we're looking into the Netherlands as well. Those will be the ones that we pretty much focus on more than anything else.
That's fantastic. And were you in the industry before, or did you come from another industry?
I actually studied tourism marketing. That was my first degree. And I worked with a couple a couple hotels in Barbados. I also worked with an entity called the Intimate Hotels of Barbados, which is a group of small hotels, usually under I think it was under 70 rooms at a time. And I think at that point in time we had about 50 members. I think now it's about 45 members. So a lot of these smaller properties that you would see more on the South Coast and all that. So I did that for a few years, but then I stepped away from the industry slightly. I worked with one of our leading rum distilleries, Mount Gay Distilleries.
Yes.
There for about 7.5 years. I was a brand manager, international brand manager, trade marketing manager. I had a few roles within the company. And then, just something told me, I was just feeling the need to get back into tourism, like in a direct way. I mean, even working with Mount Gay, I worked with a number of hotels, restaurants, bars. I was still in hospitality, so to speak. And, we had the Mount Gay Visitor Center and all that, so played a role in that. But I was feeling the need to, get back into tourism directly. And it just so happened that the BTMI was going through a restructuring at the time, and they were looking for new talent and whatnot. So here I am. Fantastic.
So it's not an awfully long time, but you've probably witnessed still some changes during the last 6 years. If there's anything in particular that you feel has impacted your role or the progress you've made in promoting Barbados?
Well, I think what we have done, certainly in the last 6 years for sure, we try to move away from the whole sun, sea, and sand. I mean, that's what Barbados is known for, which is fine. I mean, and we do have incredibly great beaches and whatnot. But one of the things that we've really tried to put into people's minds that Barbados has so much more to offer. I remember when I got this job and, I told people I was coming to the UK and all that, they're like, oh, easy peasy, man. I mean, do nothing to sell Barbados. But, there are a lot of places here that are vying for the UK pound, I should say, in terms of vacation. And a lot of them offer great beaches and sun and sea. So we need to do more. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really happy about, in the fact that we try to showcase more and more about the destination. And a lot of times when we do our webinars or where we do our trade shows and whatnot, we tend actually to focus more on all of those other things, more so than the beach. I mean, we would obviously make mention of it. We say, well, this is a great beach here, check out this one here. But we like to talk to people about, the amazing gardens that you can see in Barbados, some amazing trails you can do, whether you're doing hiking or biking. I mean, really, from the beach perspective, we talk about surfing and kite surfing. So again, that's that adventurous side, which some people may not think about. So I would say that over the last 6 years, what we've really sunk our teeth into is just showcasing all that Barbados has to offer beyond the beach. That's what we like to say. And, even from a historical perspective and history, and then obviously about rum, because Barbados is the birthplace of rum. So that's always a great story to tell as well. So I would say that's what's been really driving us over the last 6 years, to really differentiate Barbados from just being that sun, sea, and sand destination.
And of course, the people in Barbados, or the Bajans, are very, very important to everybody's journey over there, and very welcoming and friendly. And I've very much enjoyed the company of a lot of the locals, whether it was in the beach bar or in a hotel, or just as you say, showing us around Mount Gay. The people are just fantastic. So you've got a very nice rounded product there. We can't really talk today without us talking about COVID, sadly, and we are still going through changes and challenges. How's Barbados doing with COVID? What's the current situation? We know that when people listen to this, they have to remember that we're in the middle of August, and if they decide to listen to it in September, it might change.
That is very true. It's been trying. That's the best way to put it. I mean, it's day by day. I mean, right now we are in a situation where we're managing our COVID on the island fairly well. We're still doing daily testing, and when people come into Barbados, if you're traveling to Barbados, I should say, you have to test 3 days before. Obviously, when you have your negative result, you're able to travel. For those persons who are vaccinated, and you have that negative PCR test, when you arrive on island, you will take another test, and you will get that result within 24 hours. And once that comes back negative, you're good to go. Some people are saying it's quite a lot to do because there are other destinations that aren't doing that. But at the end of the day, this is a health situation. So this is bigger than us, the BTMI and tourism. This is a health situation, and it's about the health of the nation. Now, while some people would say, well, the financial health of the nation also depends on tourism and people coming in, which is true, we have to have that balance. And we're just working towards that balance. It's been a quiet summer. It was a very quiet winter. A lot of our partners are saying that this winter coming, though, is looking pretty bustling. And a lot of hotels are speaking of really great occupancies. The airlines are putting on more lift. And the only reason the airlines are going to put on more lift is that they're seeing the demand. Yeah. So essentially what we're trying to do now, or what we're continuing to do, is just making sure we have all of our ducks in a row. We want to make sure that in terms of the protocols that we are handling it the way it's supposed to be handled, so that when those increased numbers come, we can manage it. We don't want any surprises. So whilst yes, it may seem, for lack of a better term, restrictive in terms of, it's long gone are the days when you just jump on a plane and go. That's pretty much done. There's a lot of planning that needs to go in place and all that. So we're just trying to iron out those kinks right now. But we always tell persons to always check our website, visit barbados.org for the latest updates, because, as we're doing this, we're realizing that every day someone calls with a new query, a new question, like, oh, we didn't think about that. Like, even when I was just speaking with one of my colleagues, and we were talking about school groups coming, and how are we going to put things in place for school groups? Because obviously, if you have, say, 15, 20 children who are under 18 traveling, and they're not traveling with their parents, but they travel with like 5 or 6 coaches, how do we work around that? So it's all like trying to rethink all the things that we used to do before, because we don't know how long COVID is going to be with us. People might be saying, we're coming on to the tail end. No, we don't know. We do not know. So we have to put things in place for now. And we can just hope that, within 3, 6, 9, 12 months, that we will get back to just regular traveling and we don't have to worry about all these tests, but we're not sure. So for us, it's really just, ensuring that our protocols work, explaining it to persons. I mean, once we have the opportunity to explain to people, they get it. They're like, oh, that's a lot. But once I let them know, listen, once you get to Barbados and you've done all these tests, there's a certain, it's like an alleviation. It's like a weight comes off your shoulder. When you reach the island, you've done all your tests and you know that, okay, I'm good. Everyone else here is good. And you just feel a lot more freer to be out and about. Now, we do still have some, mask policies in place, and there is still social distancing, but it's just different. When I was home from December through to April, and even though we had certain restrictions here and there in terms of curfew and whatnot, it just felt lighter. It just felt, I felt safe. A lot of people felt safe. So, and that's what we want to promote. You want people to, when you go on holiday, you're supposed to feel great and relaxed, and you're supposed to bring all that out. So there's a lot of stuff to do at the beginning, but once you get past that, you should be good to go.
So what do you do while you're waiting for your test? Do you go to the hotel that you've booked into and then wait there? What happens?
So once you're vaccinated, you'll go to your hotel and you can use the hotel facilities. So You can use the pool and the restaurant and all that. You can't go on the beach because the beaches are public in Barbados. So it's only after you get your results back that you can go to the beach. If you're not vaccinated, which means that you, one, don't have any type of shot at all, or two, you've only got one shot of a 2-shot regime, and then even three, and I know this is complicated, but bear with me, three, that you've got your 2 shots of a 2-shot regime, but it actually, you still have to wait 14 days after. I mean, that's just not us, that's global. So, yeah, so once you, yeah, so that there's that. So if you're not vaccinated, you will have to quarantine for 5 days in your hotel room. And then once that's done, you do your test and you're good to go. What we found is that persons who are unvaccinated, they will probably tend to spend a longer time. They're there for, you know, a month or even 2 months, because you can come to Barbados and spend 3 months. So we found that you get more of that. But truth be told, we are getting much more like vaccinated persons. Most people who are coming are vaccinated because they want to get out as soon as they can. So I would say, I don't have any figures with me right now, but I would say the majority of persons who've been traveling to Barbados since we reopened have been fully vaccinated.
Okay. And are you on the green list at the moment?
Yes, right now we're on the green watch list, because I mean, this traffic light system, if I was to actually see this traffic light in real life, I don't know, it'd get me super confused. We're on the green watch list, and we have been since, I think that was the end of July. No, beginning of July. So which means that, you know, they're watching us and we could move to amber and all of that. But knock on wood, so far so good. We've been on the green watch list for, I think, about 6 weeks now. And because of that, I mean, once that was announced, you know, all of our operators are like, you know, phones are ringing off the hook. People just want to get out. But so like I said, I mean, summer is going to be, it's going to be quietish. We weren't expecting a whole lot for summer, but which is good. Because like I said, it gives us the opportunity to iron out any kinks so that when winter rolls around, and knock on wood again, and winter ends up the way we want it to be, that we'll be able to manage the capacity coming in.
That's fantastic. Let's fingers crossed for everybody that it all moves smoothly forward.
Yes,
So coming to the last thing, of course, having had nearly 2 years of COVID disruption, everybody's re-strategizing and replanning and creating new visions for the future, incorporating more sustainability and more responsible travel. What is Barbados doing at the moment for the future of their tourism economy?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned, you know, the excuse me, the sustainability side of things, because what we've taken some time to do is kind of focus on our niches, and that's one of the key niches, sustainability and that, you know, type of green tourism. That's one of the niches that we're focusing on. But we've kind of developed this national tourism marketing entity. We're BTMI. We're working with a lot of private sector individuals to kind of focus and develop our niche tourism aspects. So as I said, sustainable tourism / ecotourism, rum is an important one, culinary, romance. So those type of soft adventure, wellness. So those type of niches, we're now putting like some additional effort behind that. I mean, we did before. We did focus, you know, we would do events that kind of focus on a particular niche, but we're now really creating these overarching plans. I think that's been an awesome development. We started it during COVID, so in 2020, each market had to look into which niches work for them. I mean, for some markets, say for example, soft adventure means one thing to the Canadian market versus another thing to the UK market versus the US market. But if we're talking soft adventure, we need to understand who we're speaking to. So that's one of the strategies that we've put in place, and long may it continue, because I think it's a really, again, it's a really a great way to tell the Barbados story. Because at the end of the day, you know, you got to find new and interesting ways to engage old customers and new customers as well. So we think that this niche strategy is a good way to do that. And then, you know, it's just keeping our head down, you know, budgets are tight. Everyone is trying to work with what they have and just trying to work our partnerships. A partnership like this, you know, just, I think we're all in this together. This is really one time where you can truly say no man is an island. So we all have to work together to get for the success of not just a destination, that's from my standpoint, but, you know, businesses. I mean, there are some businesses that, there are some operators that we work with that Barbados is their number one destination globally. And, you know, I've got to do things to make sure that from the safety standpoint, that when their guests get to Barbados, they have an amazing experience. So that's part of our role as well. But we're here to work with them in the market to how do we promote to these potential customers. So partnerships are key, relationships are key. I mean, they always were, but I think now more so than ever, we're all realizing how important it is. They are.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And on that basis, we'd like to thank you on behalf of ANTOR for Barbados' continued support. And I know that Barbados was one of the very first members, so that's a long partnership.
Yes, please.
And we look forward to wishing you a very successful week this week as you're the featured destination, and also to all your plans for the winter. I know that although we all like to think of Barbados as a year-round destination, it's very special in the winter for us just because it's so awful here.
True.
Any sunshine and happiness, especially if it's liquid happiness in a glass, that helps us all get through the winter. So
yes, definitely.
So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you.